Have you ever stared at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, the glow of your wife's phone on her nightstand painting a ghost on the wall, and known with a certainty that freezes your blood that your life is over? That's where I was. A quiet Tuesday in our Chicago brownstone, the city humming outside. Her name was Chloe. She was sleeping soundly, a faint smile on her face. But her phone, left unlocked and screen up, pulsed with a new message preview. A single line from a man named Marcus. Still thinking about last weekend? You're intoxicating? My world didn't just crack, it atomized. In that silent blue-lit room, I saw the next 6 months of my life unfold not as a tragedy, but as a meticulously planned demolition. She just didn't know she was the one holding the detonator. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. It started subtly, as these things always do. Late nights at the firm, she'd say, kissing my cheek with lips that felt cool and distant. Chloe was an art curator, a rising star in the River North Gallery scene. The long hours the networking events sit was all plausible. I was a software architect, immersed in my own world of code and deadlines. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? We'd built a life together over 7 years, renovating this beautiful home on North Dearborn Street, planning for a future that I, like a fool, thought was a shared dream. But the oddities piled up. A new expensive perfume she only wore on work nights. The way she'd angle her phone away from me, a reflexive, almost unconscious gesture. She started finding fault in everything I did. The way I loaded the dishwasher, the shows I watched, even the way I breathed sometimes felt like it irritated her. She became a stranger in her own home, cold and sharp-edged. The warmth that had once defined us was gone, replaced by a brittle politeness that felt more insulting than any argument. Marcus, I soon learned, was a wealthy client, a real estate developer with a smug smile and a reputation. He was everything I wasn't, flashy, arrogant, and publicly powerful. They felt invincible, their secret affair a thrilling game played right under my nose. The confirmation came from a credit card statement, a charge for 2 at a ridiculously expensive restaurant, Gibson's Bar and Steakhouse. On a night she was supposedly at a gala planning meeting, I called the restaurant, my voice shaking, and asked if they could confirm a reservation under her name or Marcus Thorne's. The hostess, bless her bored politeness, confirmed it. Yes, a table for 2 for Mr. Thorne. They were in one of our more private booths. That was it. The floor fell out from under me. I spent the rest of that night on the cold tiles of our bathroom floor, not crying, just empty. The pain was a physical thing, a hollow ache in my chest that made it hard to breathe. The humiliation burned hotter than any anger. But as the sun came up over Lake Michigan, something shifted. The broken man on the floor was gone. In his place stood someone I didn't recognize, a strategist, cold and calculating. My grief had crystallized into a single diamond-hard purpose. I would not be a victim. I would be the architect of their downfall. I started playing the part of the oblivious, loving husband. I made her breakfast. I told her I missed her. Every word was a lie, a carefully placed stone in the foundation of my revenge. Meanwhile, I was gathering my ammunition. I installed discrete software on our home network, capturing every text, every email. The messages were sickeningly sweet, filled with their private jokes and plans for a future without me. They were planning a trip to Miami, a romantic getaway for her birthday. That birthday would become the centerpiece of my plan. I hired the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Eleanor Vance. When I laid out the evidence of the texts, the hotel receipts I found, the social media tags Chloe forgot to hide, Leonard's expression was unreadable. "What do you want?" she asked, her voice like gravel. "I don't just want a divorce," I told her. "I want to dismantle them. Legally, socially, completely." We used the evidence to draft an ironclad divorce filing, one that cited the infidelity clause in our prenuptial agreement. She would get nothing. The brownstone, the joint accounts, the art collection we'd curated together, it was all mine. The trap was set for her birthday party. For weeks, I planned it under the guise of a surprise celebration of her success. I told her I'd rented out a private room at a chic venue in the West Loop. I let her believe it was my grand gesture to win her back, to fix the distance between us. She was delighted, arrogant in her belief that she had me wrapped around her little finger. She invited her friends, her colleagues, her family. "Can Marcus come?" she asked one night, testing the waters. "Of course," I said, my smile feeling like a mask. "I want everyone who is important to you to be there." What she didn't know was that ID also sent a beautifully printed invitation to another guest list: Marcus's wife, his 2 teenage children, his parents, his business partners, and his very devout, very influential mother. I found them all. I phrased the invitation as a celebration of Marcus and Chloe's new exciting partnership, hosted by a grateful husband. It was just ambiguous enough to be irresistible. The night of the party arrived. The room was beautiful, filled with flowers and soft music. Chloe was radiant in a new dress, the one I knew Marcus had bought for her. She moved through the room, accepting congratulations, the queen of her own little court. Then they arrived. First, Marcus's wife, a poised, elegant woman whose eyes scanned the room with a dawning horror. Then his parents, his bewildered children right behind them. My family was there too, sitting at a table near the front. Chloe's smile faltered when she saw them. She shot me a panicked look. I just smiled back, a calm, serene smile. I walked to the front of the room and tapped a glass for a toast. The room fell silent. "I want to thank you all for coming," I began, my voice steady. "Tonight is about celebrating honesty, loyalty, and the surprising new chapters in our lives." I looked directly at Chloe. Her face was pale. "I've learned so much this year. For instance, I learned that my wife, Chloe, has a secret talent for late-night meetings at the Waldorf Astoria. And I learned that her business partner, Marcus Thorne, has been a very, very generous mentor." I paused, letting the words hang in the air. A projector screen behind me flickered to life. On it, a slideshow began. Not pictures of Chloe and me, but screenshots of their texts. Receipts from hotels, a photo from a private investigator of them kissing in a parking garage in Lincoln Park. Gasps rippled through the room. Chloe let out a small, strangled scream. Marcus looked like he was going to be sick. His wife stood up, her face a mask of cold fury, and walked out. His family followed, their faces etched with disgust. Chloe's world was imploding in real time, in front of everyone she knew. Her friends stared, her boss looked mortified, her own mother was weeping. I let the slideshow run for another 30 seconds before turning it off. "The marriage is over," I said into the microphone. "And Chloe, you should call your lawyer. Actually, call my lawyer. She'll be serving you papers tomorrow morning. Happy birthday." I set the microphone down and walked out, leaving her alone in the ruins. I never saw her again. The divorce was swift and brutal. She lost everything. Her job, her social standing, her family's respect. The last I heard, she had moved to a small town somewhere in the Midwest, a ghost of the woman she used to be. I sold the brownstone and moved to a quiet apartment overlooking the lake. Sometimes late at night, I stand at the window and watch the city lights flicker, and I feel nothing at all. The end.